Good afternoon, everyone. The Legislative Affairs Subcommittee meeting is called to order. Could you please join me in a salute to the flag? Thank you.
Roll call of the members. Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Here.
Here. Councilor Haas.
Here.
Here. Councilor Kelly.
Here.
Here. Councilor McKenna.
Here.
Here. And Chairman Argenzio.
Here.
Here. Quorum is present. First item on the agenda is Council Order 24-305, an ordinance further amending food truck locations.
Any councilors?
Thank you.
Councilor Kelly?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to point out, I don't know if anyone else, I got a email, and I did have a phone conversation with Brendan O'Brien of the Revere History Museum, and he wanted to voice his support of the food truck in this particular location. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilor McKenna?
Thank you. I got the same call, and my only concerns are that the food trucks, if they're going to be held in the parking lot, that they are plugged in and there's no generator fueling this, because there's fumes and the kids are probably 500 feet away playing in the playground, Sonny Myers Park. So if they're plugged in, I guess they don't have to, I don't know if they have to run their trucks or not, but I'm just worried about the fumes and the kids. So that's my biggest concern there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Guarino Swire?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I as well spoke to Brendan because I was unsure of whether they approved of the food truck or not, and I was very happy to hear that he did approve of it. Councilor Jaramillo and I have been discussing how we could help improve the situation with having a generator there. So right now, I'm actually waiting for Chris Charmella to call us to see if it could be plugged in to the Historical Society instead of having a generator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Haas?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In my conversations with Mr. O'Brien, we talked about the Historical Society and maybe having a food truck there. Maybe we could come up with a schedule where it's a certain food truck on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and maybe this could even improve foot traffic at the History Museum. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilor McKenna?
Thank you for the leeway, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say that we do have a big, gigantic parking lot across the street, which is Immaculate Conception, and I'm sure for a small price, they would allow food trucks to be put in. We could have multiple food trucks, and I did talk to Brendan about this. So, I mean, it's right across the street from the Historical Center, and I think that's what he's, worried about, that they're not going to have any participants coming in. But we also should look into that parking lot, because I think it would help the church. I know the church wasn't doing so well, and it might help the church if we give them a small fee, and if they can plug it in, we'll pay for their electricity or whatever. But, I mean, it's just an idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Members of the audience?
Mr. Chairman, how are you? Through you to the members. I'm just here to, sorry, Juan Amijo, 70 Low Street. Here to talk in support of this ordinance. Of course, we've been working with Councilor Guarino Sawaya and have been having conversations with our other colleagues around this and with Brendan about this opportunity, and just waiting to hear back from the DPW. I know that Councilor Guarino Sawaya has put a lot of legwork in having a conversation with the DPW to see if there's alternative ways to Councilor McKenna's concerns to electrify the food truck to ensure the least nuisance to the neighborhood, and then, I think that as it relates to the scheduling, I think someone mentioned the scheduling, maybe something we can have the Department of Tom's Department, Economic Development, maybe kind of figure that out with what makes sense for the park. But certainly stand in support of this, and thank you for your time.
On how to work this. Mr. Chairman, Ira Novoselsky, members of the committee, 53 Dearborn Street, Ward 2 Councilor. You know, I'm not against food trucks, but at this particular location, I have an issue. I'm involved in the museum, which is right next door, and also the Immaculate Conception, and I have received phone calls against having it at this location. If they can find another location for it, fine, but the times that they want it are exactly when the kids are getting out of school. And putting a food truck there, they're going to lose 2 or 3 parking spaces with the size of the truck that would be in there. So I would ask them to find another spot and maybe some other times. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Roll call on, roll call, please. Favorably, yes.
Shall the Legislative Affairs Subcommittee offer a favorable recommendation to the full City Council for adoption of this food truck ordinance relative to a location at the Revere History Museum? Counselor Guarino Sawaya?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Haas?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor McKenna?
Yes,
Yes. And Chairman Argenzio?
Yes.
Yes, the ordinance has received a favorable recommendation and will be forwarded to the full City Council. Next up is, this is a motion presented by Counselor Janino, that the City Council approve an act providing for violent act injury retirement benefits for retired police officer Leo McCaskill. Section 1, notwithstanding any general or special law to the contrary, Leo McCaskill, a retired police officer of the Revere Police Department and a member of the Revere Retirement System, may reapply for retirement benefits pursuant to Section 7 of Chapter 32 of the General Laws. If the Retirement Board determines pursuant to said Section 7 of Chapter 32, as amended by Chapter 149 of the Acts of 2024, that Leo McCaskill is retired for a violent act injury, all of his retirement benefits dispensed after such determination shall be paid and administered in accordance with retirement for a violent act injury pursuant to Section 7 of said Chapter 32 as so amended. Section 2, this act shall take effect upon its passage.
Thank you. Any councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Guarino Swire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No one deserves it more than Leo. Leo was an exemplary police officer, and I'm proud to say he's my friend. Thank you.
Councilor Haas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm definitely in support of this. I'd like to thank Councilor Janino for bringing this to the forefront. And Leo, thank you for your service. You're a great officer, and I know you'd probably still be working today if you could, but I'm definitely in support of this. Thank you.
Councilor McKenna.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too am in favor of this. I worked with Leo on many occasions with the homeless encampments in Ward 1, and he was very instrumental in going down there to check on a couple of things that I was concerned with. So I'm totally in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any members of the audience wishing to speak?
Good evening. My name is David Callahan, Chief of Police, City of Revere. I just want to thank this honorable body for your full support for this for Officer McCaskill. I mean, it's a terrible incident that happened to him. He was feloniously assaulted in the line of duty. He's never going to be able to work again as a police officer, probably in no other occupation because of his injuries. And I greatly appreciate all your support, as do the men and women of the Revere Police Department here in law enforcement. We really appreciate the support to help him. He was always there to serve the community. He did a great job every day when he came to work, and now it's time for us to support him when he needs us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any other members wishing to?
Well, thank you. Chris Janino, Worcester Councilor, 14 Sagrina Street. I just want to say that Leo, the morning this happened, I was working that day. I remember it clear as day. Leo would be in work today if he could be in work today. This isn't a retirement that anyone wants. This is one that you have to earn. And had he been hurt this morning, by state law, he would have got it now. Because of the timing on where the bill was, we're before you now on it. But I appreciate any support we get on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Good evening. It's great to be home again in this great city. Joe Rizzuti, I was Leo's partner. I had the honor to work with him for over 20 years. I, too, was hurt in the line of duty. When you look up the definition for a cop, Leo's name's there. He was there for me when I got hurt. He was there for a lot of citizens. And I appreciate this motion. And he's a good guy. And thank you for all you're doing for our brothers and sisters out there.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please, to look on this favorably.
Shall the Legislative Affairs Subcommittee offer a favorable recommendation for approval of the special act relative for Leo McCaskill? Counselor Guarino Sawaya?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Haas?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor McKenna?
Yes,
Yes, and Chairman Argenzio.
Yes.
Yes, the special act has received a favorable recommendation for approval by the City Council. Next up is
Yes, a brief recess. Mr. Cantino. Mr. Cantino. Okay, meeting is now back in session.
Council Order 24-354, an ordinance further amending the noise control ordinance of the City of Revere.
Any councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Guarino Swire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank Claire once again for all the work she's done with this noise ordinance change. The one thing that I'm going to ask is the public to please have patience during this transition. The police have to learn what the new ordinances are and how the specific guidelines are going to work and for implementation. So please have patience while the police are learning how to implement the new noise ordinance. I'm certain that it will be very successful in enhancing residents, enhancing the residents' quality of life by creating more peaceful environment by setting clear expectations of what noise level to expect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other councilors wishing to speak? Any members of the audience?
Clarence Rillo, 281 Broadway. I'll keep it brief. I know we're pressed for time. I just want to thank ISD and the police department for their feedback when Councilor Guarino Swire's motion was approved and sent to me by the mayor. To reiterate what she just outlined, it will take time for the police to learn the new ordinance, learn how to respond to the new ordinance, see if there are any changes in call frequency, call volume, things like that. So just patience as the ordinance, if it is approved tonight by the City Council, just transitioning to these new, easier to read features that we've proposed.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, if you could call for a roll to look upon this favorably.
Sure. Committee members, please note that Claire did submit an updated kind of version of how it was written out to make it easier for the police to read and for the public to read. Just the way it was written prior, listing each individual noise separately, just made it a little difficult. So the committee, if they want to vote on this tonight, should take up the amended version, not the version that was advertised.
Okay.
Sorry, Ashley, I forgot to mention that. It was no substantive content changes. It was just reformatting so you don't look east, west, north, and south instead of everything's just centralized. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, if you could call a roll on the amended version.
Shall the Legislative Affairs Subcommittee offer a favorable recommendation to the full City Council for adoption of the noise control ordinance as amended? Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hass?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McKenna? Yes. And Chairman Argenzio?
Yes.
Yes, the noise ordinance as amended has received a favorable recommendation. Next up is Council Order 25-005, an ordinance further amending fire safety regulations in the City of Revere.
Any councilors wish to speak? Claire?
Clarence Rillo, 281 Broadway, Solicitor's Office. I missed the public hearing. I was on vacation, so I did want to take just a moment to thank Acting Fire Chief James Cullen, as well as Captain Kevin O'Hara, who did appear before you last month to come in support of these amendments. Their collaboration, their feedback was crucial to make sure we wrote something that actually made sense for our firefighters. And as you know, the most tangible amendment is the fire detail payments, making sure that this dangerous work, remember they're in buildings that have no sprinkler systems, inadequate emergency egress. So what they're doing is important, dangerous work, and we want to make sure that properties that are required to have a fire watch in place are paying them promptly, they're paying them on time. So this adds a layer of protection that we did not have before, as the city was silent to fire watch details and fire watches in general. So I do want to thank the firemen who did come before you and keep them in mind as you vote tonight that this ordinance is for our firefighters, and then it's for our citizens, our residents, and other first responders who have to deal with sometimes dangerous properties.
Thank you, Ms. Inzarello. Madam Clerk, if you could call the roll to look on favorably. Oh,
Sure.
Sorry. Mr. Chairman, Ira Novoselsky, 53 Dehone Street, down in Shirley Ave area. I'm the Ward 2 councilor. You know, I don't have a problem with people having to do fire watches in certain situations. But I have constituents that are doing fire watches now, and it's costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars for fire watches. I know Carabetta owes the city over $500,000, and they're not the ones I'm trying to protect. But it's the folks down in some of the condominiums that are having issues with their fire pumps and stuff like that. The thing is, do we have to make these folks use Revere Fire people as the fire watch instead of a certified fire company? Now, we want to make sure that when they do go in there, no matter who it is, that they don't sit in one room for 24 hours a day, that they walk around and do their checking as they're supposed to check. So, I'm just wondering if if this commits to use Revere Fire. And I don't want to hurt the guys in the fire department in any way, but I still have to protect my constituents. So these are my thoughts, and just take those things into account. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Ms. Inzarello.
I can't address all of the counselors' concerns, but I do know through my research when we were drafting, and I consulted with the Department of Fire Services and the Office of the Fire Marshal, the fire code, which supersedes any and everything that the city could ever require anyone to do, does require a thorough checking, recording where the fire extinguishers are, checking that stairways are clear, all those types of things. So we can definitely make sure that that is communicated to the fire department, that we want to be extra sure that whoever is in there, firefighter or fire protection company, that they're doing those required watches and recordings, because those records under the fire code are always available to the Office of the State Fire Marshal. If they were to come in and ask, what are the fire watch records for this week, they would hypothetically have to show that this firefighter or this service person was there, they checked these stairwells, they checked these alarm systems and such and such. So we'll make sure to communicate that fire code is up to the highest standard when, if this ordinance is approved tonight, and making sure that whoever is in there is doing a good job on both ends.
Thank you. Councilor Haas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Claire, I had a few people reach out regarding what exactly is a fire watch. Is that like a condo building that the elevator goes down, or the sprinkler system is having issues, or something like that?
Yeah, you're definitely on the right track. I can't name every instance that would require a fire watch, but I know the fire prevention officers, Erin and all of them, they'd be better fit to answer, but I can say fire watches are put in depending on the size of the building and the age of the building, and if it's vacant or not. Fire watches can be put in for a faulty sprinkler system, or if someone even calls in an emergency and it just needs to be monitored. We have fire watches in for when we do fireworks over the beach, when we used to. People who don't have anything up to code, they can have something in there that's not updated properly. If they receive a ticket from our fire prevention office, something could be egregious enough to warrant a fire watch, and that's something that the chief of the fire department is authorized to order under the fire code at his or her discretion.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, continue with the roll call to look on it favorably.
Shall the Legislative Affairs Subcommittee offer a favorable recommendation for adoption of an ordinance further amending fire safety regulations in the city of Revere? Councilor Greeno-Sawaya?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McKenna? Yes. And Chairman Argenzio?
Yes.
Yes, the fire regulation ordinance has received a favorable recommendation and will be forwarded to the full city council this evening. Lastly, Council Order 25006, motion presented by Councilor Cogliandro, that the City Council order to a public hearing the following proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Revere, an ordinance further amending rules relative to open meetings. Section 1, open meetings of the revised ordinances is hereby amended by inserting the words City Council Ways and Means Subcommittee budget hearings before the words subcommittees.
Thank you. Councilors?
Thank you, Mr.
Councilor
Chairman. Anthony Cogliandro, 105 Newman Street, Ward 3, City Councilor. This is strictly for budget meetings only, and the way that I would if this is approved, I would aim to do the budget in 1, potentially 2 days during the day. I just want to address some things that were said at the last meeting. One of my colleagues stated that the directors do have an obligation to be there, and they do. I believe that this would also benefit them. A lot of them work second jobs, a lot of them work long hours, and some of them have families that they need to get to. And if they could just come up here during the day and speak on their budget and answer questions, I think that would benefit them greatly. It was also said that this could potentially hurt the public. A couple of things about that. One, I don't recall in my 3 budgets I've sat in on now that anyone from the public other than candidates and department heads were in this audience. So that's one thing. I don't think it's going to hurt anyone, and we have it on YouTube. We have the budget is online, and I'm sure that if somebody didn't have access to either, they could call the assessor's office or the clerk's office and somehow get a copy of the budget. It's also on public access, so if they do have a television, they could watch it. They'll have to sit through the meeting, unfortunately, and won't be able to slide to the part that they want or the department that they'd like to see. But I do think that there are plenty of ways for people to view the budget meetings and hear what the department heads have to say and the questions the council has, other than coming here. There was also an issue about people that work 9 to 5. What about people that don't, like me? I work a second shift, and I take work off to be here every single meeting. I'm not complaining. This is what I signed up for. But for those people that work second and third shift, it would benefit them. Maybe we'd actually get some people from the public to show up to the meetings if it was during the day, especially our senior population that may be interested in it. 5 or 6 o'clock is not ideal for them. That's a lot of time a lot of the seniors in our city are winding down. So with that said, I would ask that you vote this favorably to the City Council and that we vote it favorably, and again, specifically just the Ways and Means budget meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Cogliandro. This is, Madam Clerk, could you call a roll to send this to a public hearing?
Shall the Legislative Affairs Subcommittee offer a recommendation to the City Council to order this proposed ordinance to a public hearing? Councilor Guarino Sawaya?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas?
No.
No. Councilor Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McKenna? Yes. And Chairman Argenzio?
Yes.
Yes, the recommendation is to refer this ordinance to a public hearing. There's no further business, Chairman.
Okay, no further business. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but he's... Welcome to the February 24th meeting, 2025 of the Zoning Subcommittee of the Revere City Council. All rise and salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk?
Roll call of the members, Councilor Agenzio?
Here.
Here, Councilor Guarino Sawaya?
Here.
Here, Councilor Jaramillo?
Here.
Here, Councilor Novoselsky? Here, and Chairman Zambudo?
Here.
Here, quorum is present. There's one item on tonight's agenda. It's the special permit application of Stephen Caruso, 320 Charger Street, requesting a special permit from the Revere City Council to reconstruct, alter, and extend the lawfully pre-existing non-conforming structures so as to construct a new commercial parking structure at the property located at Squire Rear Road.
Counselor? I know you're going to give a brief presentation. Yes. As we have 15 minutes total.
So thank you. Good evening, Chairman, Zambudo, and City Councilors. My name is Nancy O'Neill, and I am an attorney with D'Ambrosio LLP, located at 14 Proctor Avenue. I represent the applicant in this matter, RNS Realty Trust, and I am joined here tonight by Mr. Stephen Caruso of the RNS Realty Trust, project architect Mr. Joe Titone of Joseph Titone and Associates, project engineer Mr. Rick Salvo of Engineering Alliance, and attorney Jerry D'Ambrosio, who is available to answer any questions. As you heard on January 27th, RNS Realty Trust has requested City Council special permits that would allow for the consolidation and reconstruction of the property's pre-existing non-conforming industrial structures into a new commercial parking structure. I hereby incorporate by reference our supporting letters of January 21st, 2025 and February 17th, 2025, which set out in detail how the proposed commercial parking structure meets the applicable legal standard under the Revere zoning ordinances for the granting of the requested special permits. Such legal standard is that the benefits of the proposed parking structure outweigh detrimental effects on the city and the neighborhood. And this standard is readily met here. The commercial parking structure is a great project that will clean up and replace two aging and high-impact industrial buildings that bring heavy truck traffic into the neighborhood. The proposed project will improve traffic conditions in the surrounding neighborhood. Heavy truck traffic from the current contractor's yard will be eliminated. And as compared to current conditions, traffic numbers will be reduced by 96 vehicle trips per day. And during the morning and evening rush hour periods, 74 fewer vehicle trips will occur. So the project will reduce congestion along Charger Street and Squire Road and greatly improve the traffic situation in the neighborhood. The project will also entail significant financial benefits to the city of Revere. The construction of the project will triple tax revenues from the parcel and raise those to around $270,000 per year, and also entail a licensing fee of around $116,000 per year. So combined, that is around $350,000 of annual revenue for the city. So overall, the proposed commercial parking structure will replace two high-impact industrial structures with a new and attractive building, which will reduce neighborhood traffic and significantly increase municipal revenues. And these benefits will substantially outweigh detrimental effects, if any, of the proposed commercial parking structure. Now, I would also like to note that the project has the support of the Chief of Planning and Community Development, who submitted a letter of support earlier today. And for all of these reasons, we would respectfully request that the City Council grant the requested relief. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from your team want to speak quickly? No? Councilors? Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I said at the last meeting, Caruso family is a staple in our community, and this particular project aligns perfectly with the characteristics of the neighborhood. A new attractive parking facility will modernize the site and clean it up, and as well as eliminate the ongoing plethora of trucks that goes in and out of their construction vehicles. It'll improve the conditions of the surrounding area without impeding its normal use. This proposal will offer significant community benefits while aligning with the city's long-term vision of growth and development. It will bring in upwards of $270,000 a year in property tax, as well as $120,000 in licensing fees. So I completely agree with this project. I think it's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Genzio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very briefly, I think this is an excellent project. The area back there, a construction site, dump trucks, front-end loaders, really is no place for it in that area. These would just be passenger cars coming in and out. I think it cleans it up greatly, and I fully support this project.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I agree with both my councilors on the right, but I've known the Caruso family for mucho years, and they're a great family, and it is a great spot for what they want to do here. It's out of the way, it gets rid of some old buildings, and it does clean up the neighborhood, and I read the traffic study, and I agree with it. And the cars that'll be coming in there will be very slow and not as often as the big trucks come, as Councilor Sawaya said. So I'm for this, and I look forward to seeing the structure go up. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Geez, it looks like we're all in agreement for a change. I too know the Caruso family for a long time, but I'm for this project more because it really eliminates an offensive use. A lot of people are offended by the trucks and the concrete crushing company, and it was a good business, and it did a lot of good for the environment because a lot of this stuff, it was like the ultimate recycling of concrete debris, but it did produce a lot of trucks coming and going, and this use will not only clean up the site, but it will eliminate those trucks coming down. So I too am in favor of this, and I think we'll ask for a roll call. Madam Clerk? Waive the conditions, waive the reading of the conditions, but they will go into the record.
Shall the zoning subcommittee offer a favorable recommendation for granting the relief requested for Squire Rear Road, subject to the findings and conditions of site plan review? Counselor Agenzio?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Guarino Sawaya?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Jaramillo?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. And Chairman Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit has received a favorable recommendation for granting. No further business, Chairman.
Thank you. No further business. We have another zoning committee meeting on the 10th of March. Thank you all.